중계석 2.
Welcome back, guys, to Clash Royale League Asia. We're covering the Southeast Asia action today as we did move through 2 rounds and see if AHQ, can they pick up 1 win, was the question that we have been tracking for 4 games straight. And there you go, tears on Jaii+'s face. Means that they did not get a win. It was very close, though, against Kick's team just earlier on, but The Rock, out of nowhere, just coming as a substitute for that for that ace match, pulls it together and gets the victory for his team. Means that AHQ is now 0-3 moving on.
Oh man, they gotta be feeling pretty bad, but off to match number 3. The final one for tonight. Chaos Theory back on once again against Bren Esports, actually having 2 wins of what the first day. They have been strong, especially in their 2v2. I want to see if that happens once again. Chaos also been pretty strong in the 2v2s. First time, of course, these 2 teams clashing in.
Really interesting to see Chaos Theory off their good win against AHQ. Of course, it hasn't really been difficult to defeat AHQ. Sadly, that is enough. That Chaos Theory off their win wants to just continue that on and maybe face another win against the side of Bren Esports. Of course, a very, very strong team, especially in 2v2. So even if you see them losing out in 1v1, just count on them to put up a performance in 2v2. As you see, Detective Heka, no aim sight, Manny Knoxville, and gonna be the last member to round us off for this side coming in. And Bren Esports, first appearance today in week 2, but week 1 was a remembrance of how impressive they were. We talk about it again and again, especially in the 2v2.
Yes, there is so far. Yugi did not play yet, and we had JayTV, Dexter, Rebagus in play from match number 1. So far, no sign of Yugi from that roster. Maybe this will be the first game also where we just had Morris Lin in play from AHQ just in the previous match. Seems like they are a little bit tired after waiting for the second match a little bit. We did have some delays. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for just keeping watching. As we do have the new CG, the next matchup.
중계석 기절.
Gonna see how that moves about because Chaos Theory, they did really well against AHQ, but on the other end of things, on the other end of the story, that AHQ haven't been performing just enough to get 1 win. So now they're 0-3. So right now you're basically talking about Chaos Theory, a team that just beat out a team that has got no wins. So now you're coming into this last series here against a team like Bren Esports, who has really shown good performance over a lot of the good teams in Southeast Asia, not just necessarily over AHQ. So really a strong team coming in. Can they do the same thing against this very strong Bren Esports again?
Ooh, we actually have Yugi from Chaos Theory for the first time.
Okay.
The only American player in the team. Very surprisingly, from New York.
He participating with this Southeast Asian team. Gonna be up against No Aim Sai, a team that was very vocal of kind of showing us and telling us that this team has been on the good run of practice and kind of emphasizing their team's prioritization on 2v2 was this guy from No Aim Sai.
No Aim Sai has been using lots of balloons. Lots and lots of balloons with a freeze spell, actually. So maybe he will actually come out on top once again.
Seen that strategy work out for many occasions, where you think you have the last hit onto a balloon before it gets the first drop, then you put the freeze down at the very last second, and first drop does come eventually, making a lot of difference, right, though how you can control the game later on.
First game from Yugi can be a little bit pressuring as you hold that key to basically start off into a better one as the first 1v1 here against No Aim Sai. Can be pretty hard against Bren Esports as they are holding 2 wins already. Having that pressure, of course, is new to scene, very young at age. These players not really having the most experience in this terms. Of course, they had lots of regional small tournaments, small LAN parties, but in this big, gigantic format where we have the world coming in together, be a lot of pressure for the first time if you're playing.
We have to remind ourselves that this is the very first time we're putting professional organizations to form a team composed of players that have shown themselves in the past and perhaps new players that really haven't showed themselves in public in the professional scene. So, you know, there's so many new things about this Clash Royale esports where, you know, you definitely have not seen these players before, and even if you did, they were on an individual basis. So coming in, you have a lot of communications, a lot of different interactions with your teammates to improve yourself while improving others within that same team. We might be in that same situation with Yugi and No Aim Side about to take it on in this 1v1 here.
Yeah, they're all pros now in official pro teams. Individually, they get all the talks and all the strategy, but we do have the ban card. Yugi banning out the Goblin Hut, actually, and No Aim Sai. Three Musketeer has been a very, very popular ban in Southeast Asia.
It really has, and you would think that, you know, Three Musketeers can just physically be banned out if you just ban out the Elixir Collector. Really not a viable card once you don't have the extra elixirs to work with, but maybe the Southeast Asian player think of it a little bit differently, that while keeping the Elixir Collector, just banning out the Three Musketeers can get all the stress out of the way.
See, No Aim Sai has not been really using that Goblin Hut at all, but we did see what you can do with the Hut. Just getting some damage from every single shot counts from that Spear Goblin, and you will let a lot more if you have something else on it. So all those summoning huts, summoning structures that you have, we did see it coming down to an end where you just push in all in with the Lumberjack or then the Rage spell putting down, and basically got the win, the final win in the last game.
It also does double duty as soaking up the damage from charging enemies as well. So talking about Giants, talking about Dark Prince, and all things that can instantly put out so much damage. Even the balloon can be soaked up by the Goblin Hunt slightly a bit, so it does double duty of, you know, summoning out units so that you can go for an all-out attack, but also can be a little bit of a defensive insurance for your team as well. So that being banned out means that more of the rush cards and more of the instant damage cards can become more prevalent here.
So I gotta ask, if there's an interview with Yugi Art, if they ever come, when it comes to the time to an interview, first question I will have towards it is that, do you play Yu-Gi-Oh? Or did you used to play Yu-Gi-Oh?
That is the first question you can come up with against Yugi Art.
That's gotta be the one.
I mean,
Clash Royale is a great card game as well.
I mean, he's from New York, and New York definitely had Yu-Gi-Oh back in the day, and
I've had my days.
I've had my days as well. Getting that purple card, the ultra rare, you know,
the blue-eyed white dragon. Yes.
You know what I'm talking about? Back in the Kaiba decks, and when you get that deck and you're guaranteed a blue eyes white dragon, at least one in your deck. All that booster packs. Each one I bought was a spanking from my mother. You know, I know how that felt.
Oh man, Joe, I thought I was a fan, but you are a crazy one.
I definitely was aware and definitely had my time. Sure, Yugi Art had his time, and now it's time to show his against No Aim Sai as Chaos Theory wants to extend their win streak now over to 2 and start over here with 1v1. Pretty casual start to the game here with No Aim Sai.
Has been the favorite card from No Aim Sai actually for the other side. Ooh, after the Goblin Hut ban, here comes the Barbarian Hut instead.
Okay, P.E.K.K.A summoned early, gonna soak up the damage with the Ice Golem. The charge does come in. You heard that dink. That indicates the Barbarians are gonna be putting a lot of damage from No Aim Sai here. So Bren Esports.
1,000.
Yeah, already. So that charge plus the shivering attacks coming from the Barbarian does that much damage to on one attempt here. So, but yeah, you gotta look on the other side though. No Aim Sai took a little bit of damage on his own, down to 1283. So a little bit of trade here and there. Obviously, No Aim Sai got the better of the trade. Yugi Art still has to remain cautious as to how he can recover from this one.
Poison spell being dropped already. He's just trusting his cycle because he doesn't really need the poison against that Battle Ram and the P.E.K.K.A. Can be some of the damage, but you can't really stop them from charging in. So making sure you just toss that down. Even the balloon being dropped down.
Battle Ram
just goes in, says, uh-oh, this is a big trouble for me.
No, okay, the balloon is not going to be knocked away. Gotta get the drop. The one drop does come through before it is knocked away by the Mega Minion. So we thought the balloon will be attracted away by the Barbarian, but it was just shifted a little bit to the left, making the balloon not care about its track and head straight for that tower, getting that first drop, which is very important for the side of No Aim Sai now.
So Yugi has a lot to think about. Do I really want to use the hut to defend against the balloon or the P.E.K.K.A. or the battle ram now? So you really have to make that tough choice.
Oh my goodness.
What
Another
other two
poison.
does he have to actually counter the air attacks from coming in?
I'm not seeing the big effect using on that poison against the Executioner, only getting down to half health and not doing too much damage to the tower as well. So really important for Yugi to stay composed here because he's slightly down when it comes to both towers being under 1,000 HP. So Balloon coming in again with the P.E.K.K.A. I wonder if he can defend against this poison being summoned again just to compensate for the Balloon coming in. It might not get the drop as we expected. Gonna get the explosion damage as well. The P.E.K.K.A. still not dead. With the tower down at 566 on the left, with the Execution coming on the left as well. How can Yugi can compensate for all of this? It's gonna be going down one by one, down to 388. The last axe will not be put down. Battle Ram with the balloon being invested fully to the left side with two Barbarian Hunts on the center, trying to get this one drop out to
Balloon coming
it.
straight to the
Balloon
tower.
will get the drop, and that will be no aim side, putting pressure onto both lanes with Yugi having no defensive matters after the two Barbarian Hunts having summoned.
Did Yugi end up using the final two? I think we still had two cards just being in hold for the rest of the game.
Could be. And the important thing was he invested so much into using that many elixirs of summoning the Barbarian Hunt that he had no other defensive units to summon out to defend against both lanes of pressure there coming from no aim side.
Because of the battle ram and the balloon, it just goes directly to the tower without the structure. So it can be a very painful. I think he had some, not much of a defensive card, but that has to be the only reason why he can't be putting down those cards. He was using lots of the smaller ones to just cycle out, make sure he has the hut instead, just to use the small elixir cards in between.
And you gotta say that poison that he used both times against the tower and the Executioner was a little bit questionable. It wasn't against multiple, just literally just single unit of Executioner and the tower chip damage was what he was going for both times. So not the best use of poison in my opinion on that one. Really did not even kill the Executioner all the way. So Yugi, you gotta think, you gotta head back into this game with a little bit of different approach in this game too here.
We will never know what the final two cards were. Maybe just a big spell. He was waiting for the moment, but really not the best one to use against the Battle Ram or the P.E.K.K.A. alone. P.E.K.K.A. was not really followed up with the balloon, but oftentimes to the side, not really following up right behind. So it was not the best time to use a big spell.
Yeah.
So Yugi was caught up in his own deck, really not countering anything right there.
And he had many moments where he was full on the elixir without, wasting a lot of time before he can just be most efficient with the elixirs that he had. So kind of goes to show you that Yugi, a little bit of focus hat being needed to put on if he wants to get a win right here, because no aim side, the side of Bren Esports, showing why they are currently undefeated.
Here comes the Hunter finally. Does tons of damage against that giant, a great counter.
Oh, look at that really nice poison being put down. That's how you play poison, using it as multiple units, but the balloon coming in with the freezing spell as well. So, and he gets some damage onto it. Oh, the freeze is going to be just putting it, but a nice tornado with the Executioner. I think he's going to get it before he gets the drop. Yes, he does. And that might not be in the radius to get the explosion either. Yeah, so he's not going to get the damage onto the tower. So no aim sight. Very good use of that tornado with the Executioner available.
Perfect use of the tornado. No aim side is controlling this game so far.
Really is, and thought that might be a first of nice sighting coming from Yugi,
But won't have the same rotation this time. The cycle is not the same, but it goes straight to the tower.
The tornado is not available for him on that rotation. Second drop almost dropping, but it's gonna go down. But still very nicely played, as indicated by No Aim Side. So you saw that second balloon coming in very, very quickly on that rotation. So a lot of cheap spells and a lot of cheap cards that he had to rotate around to get to that much quicker than No Aim Side did to his tornado.
Yeah, look at the bottom of the screen. Lots of ones, lots of twos. Ice Golem, Skeleton, Ice Spirit, so low. You can just cycle so quickly through. That's why he had the balloon already to go in for the offense again.
Very nicely done, and all of the effort you see here coming in from No Aim Side with the Prince, pushing the Giant into play, with the Executioner just wiping his clearance here. The Miner being summoned as well. Gonna summon the Hunter once again. Ice Golem just shifting away the aggro coming in from the Prince. Not even gonna get a charge in.
Get the charge.
Yeah, So it's going to be really important to see if this balloon can work out. He does have the tornado available.
But
if
the
he chooses
executioner is already down. I
Okay.
don't think he has it on his hand. No inside, looking for
Oh,
trouble.
that was greedy right there for Noim side. If that was any bit closer, that could have got that drop. Would have got the first tower down as well. So risking to save 3 elixirs by not using that tornado was the strategy. Now he can go for all-in push here.
But the Hunter has been so effective in the defense. Now this is a great poison by No Aim Side. He
great
can push
poison coming
all in. There's a Prince Executioner even landing on.
Oh, this is looking very, very good. Giant's gonna get 1 punch up there. The tornado coming in. He's using the executioner to put in more damage. The miner gonna put in chip damage as well. Get it down to 11 to 1,075.
Not as much as No Aim Side thought it would be. There's an Executioner now.
Tornado was used. Tornado was used. So
Just
will he
used?
have enough? Yeah, it's gonna be the 1 drop. It's needed. Gonna get about 200 something damage off that explosion. So 203 is the final damage there. So how we can get this final push. 1 more rotation of spells. Could get Yugi out the win here in this game too. Okay, but the poison and the giant cannot be stopped by Yugi on No Aim Side. Really putting a good position of striking back as soon as he stopped the last balloon. And we talked about 1 drop could have finished the entire game. Yugi Art just made sure that he was going to get that 1 drop, maybe at the end. He had multiple attempts to do it, but couldn't get it in the end. Down to 203 on his opponent tower. It's going to be traveled back right by the Giants.
Hey Joel, that is the spirit. That is the spirit that we've been talking about. Even if you think you lost, 1 fireball with 1 zap could. I think he had about 200.
It was
so
203.
maybe just the fireball was enough to take it down. And he also had the zap, so it was going to be going down very soon. So I think that's why No Aim Side just said, well played. I lost this game, but he was. Even after that, he was not giving him until the last moment and throwing his own giant miner, doing quite a lot of damage in that case, also with the poison.
Wow.
I'm playing with the mind tricks a little bit.
Really good uses of the poison there. I would have to say for No Aim Side. Really contrasting for the use that came from Yugi Art in that game 1 where we kind of criticized his use of poison. Really inefficient when compared to No Aim Side's brilliant use. Knocking out units after units, very small units, which was characteristic of Yugi Art's deck. It just came through the fact that really good use of poison can get you so much more value in the late game.
Yeah, that was it. Hunter was very effective against the giant, landing on just gigantic, a lot of the bullets landing on the giant. But oftentimes, miner and the poison was the one that was actually doing the damage when he had to use the hunter to defend giant instead of miner, which came multiple times, but not at the final moment when he actually needed to take down that miner. I think was the critical miss there. Maybe Yugi just thought, I got this game, I can just finish it all with few spells, and I just got it. But at the late moment, No Aim Side just controlling that elixir. Brilliantly done there.
G-Club, you talk about never give up attitude. You talk about no complacency is important to winning a Clash Royale game as well, because you know Yugi are very advantaged. Just literally need to wait through the rotation to get the spells, the fireball, zap. That's all he needed to finish up the game. 6 elixirs right there, but maybe he got a little more complacent because he was given such a good winning condition, and No Aim Side, it might seem like there's no way back, and that's the kind of the never give up attitude you were talking about from the Bren Esports side, and gives them a very clean victory now.
I never give up. I never give up. Oftentimes when you have a tower down in the first 30 seconds, oftentimes we have players just escaping from the game, just pressing that home button on your phone. But you never know if the opponent might get a call or a text message or battery goes out or something, you know, or the Wi-Fi just disconnects. Things happen in life, and I had some amazing comeback, not because of those disconnections, but because things happen, and sometimes the opponent actually puts their guards down after taking the first tower in the 30 seconds and says, oh, all I have to do is defend, and I can pretty much take this win. And at least you can tie it back up. I think that's the goal that you want to have, that you don't want to lose your trophy. At least tie it back up. If you can have an amazing comeback, it will be the game of your lifetime in Clash Royale.
It's the winning mentality, G-Cliff, and it's something that I've been lacking for quite a time on my way to 3,800. But now I'm here. Now I know what the winning mentality is. I'm going to keep that going. Maybe go to 4,000 one day. Someday will happen.
5,000.
Man, 5,000. That's just out of my league. 6,000.
Over
Get
6,000
out of here.
is the
G-Cliff.
meme. Over 6,000 is the meme,
Oh,
Joel.
my goodness.
You have to get there.
There's a reason why I'm sitting here on the desk and not playing over there in Taiwan with the phones on the laps here. That's the reason. There's just a skill difference between the players, and you know, 4K, that would be my dream right there. That's like beyond that is like All my dreams came true on that one.
Always aim for,
감사합니다.
always aim pretty high. I would aim for a high 4,000.
기절
That's my
스파이.
goal by the end of this year.
Someone that's not in the high 4,000 is Trader Dexterz at 6.1k, something we'll never be amount to.
No, do not say never.
I would say never on my part. I don't know about you. Maybe you can get there, but shoot, I'm not going to risk that much time and trying to get to 6.1. I know it's going to be a possibility. You're going to see that Chaos Theory, obviously coming off after a loss. Bren Esports really equally impressive as their showing was in week 1. Now they're here in week 2, just continuing to impress us already from the 1v1 shown by No Aim side. Wonder if they're going to have the winning mentality, because 2v2 is their biggest strength for this team here.
And from Chaos, of course, you'll be off to Bren Esports right after. Some random people walking in front of the camera.
That's normal.
That's not normal for us.
It's alright.
So it's alright, but let's look at the ban. What do you think do you really have to ban? We had lots of spell bans coming out, the Poison and the Tornado together in the previous series.
We saw that banning out Tornado and Poison can create into a party fiesta. We're talking about just absolute, just going all in without being punished. That is a possibility. So I would think, realistically, Tornado might be banned out just for the case that you won't do an all in like that. But at the same time, you're going to have to leave some of the spells accountable if you want to at least defend out against the all in rush.
That's the thing. We have to take into account that these players have been playing so well against all the players. JayTV actually having a win on 2v2, using lots of bats. As said, we do see P.E.K.K.A dropping in also, along with that. Lightning spell as well.
Lightning
That
spells
is
are
somewhat effective.
quite good, I think, especially against a heavy rush attempt when you have the most significant 3 units you want to just target out within that rush and just knocking it out, which will be a lot tougher with any other spell or any other unit. Instantly killing it off, or at least nearly killing it off. It's really important to defending out the rush, but you talk about lightning can be used offensively as well.
Yes.
When you're making your rush and you're trying to get all these defensive units trying to just wipe out one at a time, and you get those 3 units into play, lightning could wipe them out entirely, and there's no other defensive options for your opponents there.
Yep, just today we saw lots of lightning spell used for offensive use along with the balloon. Great tool to take out so many units in the big radius. Here comes Jai actually winning all of his games so far. I believe the only player who has won all of his games.
So no losses in games whatsoever, no dropped matches.
No dropped match, 1v1 twice and 2v1 win also.
Jai has been very, very impressive. I remember definitely his plays from last week's broadcast. And seeing him again week 2 just makes me smile to what he might bring once again for another showing of Bren Esports and their dominance in the Southeast Asian region. We might get an indication that once again, you see the Tornado ban, very much expected, this time coming in from Chaos Theory, but we're going to see the Balloon ban. Maybe for the first time today, on a 2v2 occasion, we've seen it in 1v1 being banned out, but 2v2, Balloon is going to be banned out. So that Balloon rage nonsense is going to be out of there.
Maybe expecting some structures to be used.
Yep.
From Bren Esports, I think that's the line of thinking. Tornado being banned means Executioner will not be as effective in this one as well. But we do have the Poison. And lots of other spells in use that's allowed to use.
Just the fact that the Poison is not in play means that Golem Rush will be a little more effective in the place of not having it in the first place. Means that Bren Esports, very much a 2v2 expert team, as established from last week's dominating performance against their opponents, can show very impressive results once again. Of course, they will not have to deal with a Tornado, but they will have a Poison to work against. So are they just going to make a really big Golden Rush and try to make it again? But are we going to see some structures, as you say? Could be an unexpected choice coming from these Southeast Asian region teams who are more reluctant to using very heavy units, as we've seen time and time again.
It's been pretty tough. We had last time when they had 2v2, they had Detective P.E.K.K.A, No Aim side together, and the other time was Jai with Manny Knoxville together the other way. So we're having a mix a little bit here with Jai and Manny Knoxville. Last time they banned the Tornado, but it is going to be Balloon in this case. So they're off to something else compared to the last time. They were using lots of heavy golden pushes with Dark Prince, with the regular Prince also.
Let's see how that goes, because right now Bren Esports expected to win this one just based off the performance they have shown in the previous week. Shearing and continuing on their dominance, raise their expectation further for this team as the weeks go by. We're going to be going on to the regionals and now going on to the conquering the multiple regions at the same time. And we might see Bren Esports shine in that stage as well. But before we get to that, they have to defeat against their very last opponent here, with Chaos Theory being the last one in line against Bren Esports in the Southeast Asia region.
They have been in use of lots of giants, even the Mega Knight here, with the Battle Ram charging in a few times. And even the Tesla Tower as a defensive tool. Bren Esports has been known as a better 2v2 team in this region. Maybe they can pull it up once again with this combo, a new combo.
Here we begin the game between Chaos Theory and Bren Esports, team that has really established themselves as the top 2v2 team in this region. See if they can still keep that title count for themselves by getting a win here.
Of course, Bren Esports, if they win this set, it will be 2-0 and a closeout series with a 2-0 just like that.
Close out the day as well, just, with this being the last series of the day. Southeast second coverage of the day here means that see Southeast Asia come to a conclusion based on how this action ends here.
Poison already being dropped a little bit early, not really landing on any of the units.
Other than the Electro Wizard, obviously, but still going to be surviving for some amount of time to stop down Dark Prince coming in. The Golem is starting to make its rush now. Not heavily damaged. The P.E.K.K.A is being summoned as well, trying to just help out the damage go up against the Golem, but
Graveyard is actually connecting quite a lot of damage right now.
okay, the two Golems are still on to play with a couple of skeletons from the Graveyard.
Guards come down way too late to defend if they were there to begin with for the Graveyard. I don't think they would have taken that much of damage to the tower.
So 14-20 after that first push coming in from Bren Esports. Means their second push, if that gets another series of attacks like that, could mean good shining for this team moving through here. See the Mega Minion being summoned by Bren Esports, but let's see the Golem on the left lane this time now. Chaos Theory seemingly looking for a counter of their own, but we see, wow, just a heavy summon of P.E.K.K.A on the left to counter up against the Golem from the Chaos Theory, but a Golem on the right lane as well from Bren Esports trying to make an offensive maneuver as well.
And Chaos actually focusing onto the left a little bit more with the Prince, but the guards come down. It's going to be a big one with the Poison here. But on the other side, Graveyard comes right on top of the Poison to counter it.
Okay, we're still going to see a lot of damage coming through. The Golem has not exploded quite yet, so the left one is going to be just attacking, but the right one has been just exploded into a lot of damage. Second damage with the last one, getting ready to explode down to 230. Where the left attack coming in from Chaos Theory made the tower go back to 1438, but we're going to see a attack once again from the right side here.
Attack from the right side is basically a bait here as the Prince is charging in towards the left, taking out the Electro Wizard very handedly.
The Prince is going to be charging in, but the Lightning just clearing out the way.
Oh, that was a big one. But I believe Bren Esports got a few spells to actually take it out. There's a Poison, activating the King Tower. They already know it, but the push is coming.
The push, they have to be stopped until it gets down, and will be Bren Esports holding out enough time for another win in the 2v2 scenario. So this team really composed, doing everything right. Chip damage after chip damage on these really big rushes with the Golem. They had the defense ready on their left lane and just maneuver their offense just simultaneously on the right lane to get that really off-guard situation against Chaos Esports.
Using that Graveyard after watching all the cards being dropped down, they knew they were low in Elixir. They couldn't really use that guard as soon as possible. So Graveyard actually did the most damage out of that tower to get some Golem to actually connect. The freeze actually we didn't really mention in the game right there. Stopped all the P.E.K.K.A, the big ones doing damage, so Golem actually connected straight to the tower.
Yeah.
Did tons of damage, got it down to 200, I believe.
Yep, around to 200. and the remaining number, that was good enough for the Poison to be the finishing touch. Just to make sure, he got the defensive strat while the Poison was taking down the last tower. Bren Esports did everything right from finish to end to make sure they win out the first game here, and they're looking to sweep up a clean finish here as we get onto the second game. See if they can just close out the series altogether with a very nice performance once again.
That was just brilliant teamwork. Just expecting what to come out from the other side. And they were kind of lost. Chaos Theory, they had their own push, but they weren't really predicting what was going to happen. It was a little bit too late once the graveyard came down. That was the first one. And then the freeze really sealed the deal right after the Poison to just finish off the game. It was just enough.
Absolute match point coming in from Bren Esports. They just win one more here against Chaos Theory. Trainer Dexterz+JayTV just trying to hold on for their team for a miraculous comeback, but they're just so far away from getting a W on the board. While Jay and Knoxville looking very, very comfortable as we saw them from the game one. Just holding up the time now. See who gets the win here.
Holding on for quite a long time here, as I think they're looking for that miraculous 1-minute push when everything is on the line.
Yeah, this is going to be crazy. Something you don't see that much in 2v2.
Down the golem, here we go. Already off with the P.E.K.K.A.
Wow. Wait, P.E.K.K.A's going to go in front of the golem here. That's going to be a little bit odd to see. You can see the Dark Prince from the side of Bren Esports pushing down the golem a bit faster.
Graveyard already being dropped. This means the guard, okay, perfectly dealt with this time in front
Oh,
of
even
Chaos.
the Valkyrie too. The Valkyrie trying to help out, clear out the graveyard as well, but the golem has already reached its point, putting out a lot of damage with the Poison there as well. Gonna be joined down 550, and it might just go down altogether. One more hit from the last golem might have done it, but we see the Dark Prince charging in from the right side for Chaos Theory here. You can see a lot of damage coming in. All these golem, and the Dark Prince still doing damage, and that's gonna be the first tower explosion coming in from Chaos Theory. Just pushing onto the King's Tower. They're not done quite yet. The Valkyrie was a surprise pick that handled the graveyard quite well there.
Valkyrie was surely a surprise, taking out multiple units down to below 2k onto that King Tower.
So we definitely know what Chaos Theory is going to be going
Chaos
for.
actually going for the right lane again. They are going for that 3 crown.
They're going for the King's Tower here. First we see a 2-tower attempt coming in from Bren Esports. Now going on the left lane here.
Same push coming in, even with the Prince now. The bottom right can basically be torn down with few spells, so it's not really too much of a harass.
Oh, look at the Electro Wizard though coming in from the middle there.
But the Poison doing so much damage, all the units from the left. Golem connecting, but not as much damage. Chaos wants to finish this with 3 crowns. Golem's going in.
The Tower is going to be looking very, very dangerous.
Valkyrie.
Even the Dark Prince putting damage onto the left tower as well. It's going to be stopped for the time being, but still means the P.E.K.K.A. is rushing in towards the left. As we compensated for it, not going to be the most difficult task to accomplish, but it's going to just target out at the right tower to make sure they're even in crown count before the timeout goes on.
Bren Esports, they keeping this one well with the charge. They actually stopped that really well. They knew that Valkyrie coming in very soon.
Look at that early rotation with the golem from Chaos Theory there.
The Musketeer to harass. There's the Poison really not doing too much as an offensive one.
Oh, going all in there. Just one hit. Gonna explode into
down to
2.
800.
892, 839. The golems are still attacking with the P.E.K.K.A. doing work to keep the King's Tower alive. Now the second tower could go down for the side of Chaos Theory if they're not careful, but not enough offensive strats are being coming on for Bren Esports. So now they're fighting enough.
Ooh, Electro Wizard onto the left side. This basically means one more golem would take the tower down with the 3 crown.
Okay, even the Ice Golem trying to do a little bit of damage now. 190, 163, even to 89, 24 to 0 for the King's Tower 3 crown win. Coming in from Chaos Theory. That first rush with the golem did them quite justice, as the Valkyrie was definitely the defensive tool they needed against the graveyard coming from Bren Esports.
The Bren Esports basically kept the same deck coming in for game number 2. Lots of adjustment coming out from Chaos Theory. They're really happy about the change, about the result. It's really hard to defend when your King Tower is down to 600, 800. You can't really do too much. Even just a single push with Golem, just dropping down anything that they have, would have just finished the game. was very tough for Bren Esports to come back, but they were still managing to get a tower down in trade.
It's a bit unfortunate for Bren Esports, who could have just finished out the series right there with a win in the second game, but it results to a same deck being used, being countered quite nicely with the Graveyard, being compensated for the guards, and also the Valkyrie summoned at the same time. Perfect counter to the Graveyard, really having no effect with the Golden Rush coming in.
It's gonna be tough for the final one, as Chaos, if they lose this one, still at a match point for Bren Esports, so maybe we'll be making some adjustments here, as this time Chaos Theory, their poison has been super effective to taking the tower down, and Valkyrie was surely a surprise, taking all the guards, multiple units on the ground just with one swing around. Just doing so much damage along with that push.
Really good stuff by Chaos Theory to be reactive to the strats being thrown by Bren Esports on the first game, to come back strong in the second game to make this even now. Now we talk about a very miraculous comeback. They're gonna need as many wins as they can from this point on with Chaos Theory to make sure they win every game from here on. That will give them the victory, the second one of the day, over a very strong side now we know as Bren Esports.
It's all about the chess. It's all about the final chess. That's why we're having this Pirates of the Caribbean song. Not really, but about the same. About the same mood that I can feel in the atmosphere. Looking for that chess with the legendary card. That's what we're going for. The final game, what it could be for both teams.
Again, Bren Esports now trying to just talk it over with their teammates. Make sure they're absolutely ready for this final game. Once again, we're still at match point. That doesn't change whatsoever. Bren Esports has been on the upper end of things over Chaos Theory ever since the very first game. Now they're here. Just one more game will get them in this very comfortable position to lead out the group in a 3-0 undefeated record.
We can't forget about the Tornado and the Balloon Band. That has been why we are focusing so much on the ground units instead of air units. We barely saw any air units. Only the few were, of course, Mega Minion and the Bats. And other than those two, we couldn't really see anything else really coming in as a defensive tool too much.
This could mean that we might see very similar decks coming from both sides, but how they react to one another will be the difference maker when it comes to the actual results that will come out in Game 3. Whether it will go towards Chaos Theory, leading us to an ace match with a win here. Could be a match going over to Bren Esports with their win, finishing out the series.
With some extra time, I believe we're having a timeout, of course, for the third game. Both teams discussing what it could be, how you want to power up the golems, just making sure. Maybe you want to bring your own Inferno Dragon in this case, which has not been shown at all in this 2v2, and oftentimes it is if not banned, but in this case not banned surely. And against all the golem, against all the P.E.K.K.A, I think it's one of the cards that they should be considering about.
Seems like Golem and the P.E.K.K.A will be stable picks here. Definitely with the lack of Lava Balloon and the Lava Hound with the Balloon combo kind of being disabled here with the negation of the Balloon, means that P.E.K.K.A for the defensive strats and Golem for the offensive strats will most likely be a thing for both of these teams. So like I say, Infernal Dragon, very viable option here.
Let's see which team actually put that card in or made some adjustments. Here comes a Miner.
Early
already a chain with the poison spell right on top.
Lot invested just for the Miner. That was just to make sure you can get the most of it, but with the Musketeer there for insurance, make sure that Miner goes down in a hurry.
Musketeer not really landing on shots, but
Double Prince.
Double Prince will just take care of them. P.E.K.K.A being trouble.
Oh, nice guards coming in. That's going to defend him so much HP there, and P.E.K.K.A is as healthy as ever. Charging forward here, already down to the midway bridge.
Guards with the Dark Prince again pushing a little bit further. P.E.K.K.A, of course, against the guards, it's so hard. It takes a lot of time to take those down, so you need something else to back it up.
Yeah, with such slow attack speed, I think guards might be the direct counter to the P.E.K.K.A, especially if they're in your side of the base.
Another Miner smelt, but Mega Minion already being predicted right before. Can't really do too much. Mega Minion actually connects 3 shots directly to the tower. That's big.
That's going to be the one that gets the start going for Bren Esports, but nice poison being played here, knocking out multiple units, and Mega Minion, Musketeer, Prince, everything's going to be heavily chipped down here. And we talked about Infernal Dragon might be a possibility. We see it right here. It's going to be on both sides. Looking to the P.E.K.K.A. To make sure they're ready to go for this one. And Guard's being summoned again just to compensate for the P.E.K.K.A. here, but going to be just knocked off. The thing that poison being used by Chaos Theory is very, very well played as well.
Double Prince.
Wow,
looking for the charge once again.
Valkyrie
coming out from Chaos once again. I don't think it's enough. Even with the spell, there we go, charging in now, directly to the tower.
Look at this, 51 seconds left on the clock, and the Miner still doing damage with the poison. So, very late reaction coming in from Chaos Theory, just with the Mega Minion at the end. Hopefully stop things. Oh, but the Electro Wizard is going the wrong way, so gonna get free damage.
They actually want to trade it. They are willing to sacrifice that much of HP for the right time, so they can actually take down the 337 on the left.
Oh, this is not that many HP left with not much time left remaining as well.
This will be a race down to 20 seconds. Chaos has to take this one down onto the right side. Is it going to be enough?
The Golem is being slowed down by the Ice Wizard. Really nothing for them to do. 13.
Way too slow and lack of units to connect the damage.
Oh my goodness, 9 seconds. Good game already being predicted here by Bren Esports. 5 seconds left on the clock, and 13:42 looks too big an obstacle for Bren Esports to overcome. And here they are, winning out in a very clean 2-0 set. And here we see a dominance from a team that we saw from last week. They continue on their progress, still undefeated at 3-0 wins on the record book.
Yep, of course, it is not the perfect series. They did not have perfect 2-0, 2-0, 2-0s, but after dropping just one single game oftentimes, but they will be coming on top from Southeast Asian region. What a team here. Bren Esports understanding the 2v2 mechanics, and they also hold great 1v1 players. Such a great team right now.
What a stronghold right now for the Southeast Asian region. If you're talking about this region as a whole, let's just focus on one team right now. That's going to be Bren Esports moving forward.
Yes.
They looked heaps stronger over any other team in this region so far. So once they start clashing with the Korean teams and the Japanese team, lots of excitement ahead.
Whenever they used spell, especially that poison spell on the left, that was a beauty. That was a beauty onto 4-5 units at the same time. Just doing so much damage, getting that full maximum. I think it's got maybe an 8 elixir amount of value up to maybe. They got 2 units down and 2 units down to half HP.
Yeah. Absolutely agree with just 4 elixir being used just for the poison. Great use of that. Maximum efficiency. We've seen time and time again. Very good use of the spells has been the difference between Bren Esports compared to the rest of their competition. And now Southeast Asian region will be proudly represented by this Philippines team with Bren Esports showing very true colors. Now moving forward, now clashing onto the different regions will be the spectacle here.
Yeah, with the final game, we were expecting Infernal Dragon to come up, and that has been a big saving tool for them is in a defensive way, because Chaos Theory couldn't really push their own win other than the really heavy HP ones with the P.E.K.K.A. and the Golem in game 1 and 2 and 3 all the way in. So we're gonna have a replay and just take a look at these amazing spell usage. The freeze right there.
Absolutely brilliant. You just can't do anything about that. Like, even the P.E.K.K.A. was frozen up just on the edge of that freeze. So when that's supposed to be the direct counter to the Golem, and it's not taking any free shots, man, really tough days for Chaos Theory to come back from that one.
Oh, they did catch them off guard with the Valkyrie, which was great.
That was
great adjustment from Chaos, just knowing all the ground units. There will be lots of ground units from the other side. Just knowing that having the Valkyrie got them surprised, got them caught off guard, but in game 3, they were throwing down all the poison from the beginning. We know why. They were able to really come up with on top by sending that miner and the poison from the very early. We were wondering why they were doing it, but they were trying to get some chip damage.
It's really good. And last minute miner with the poison, really slow to react from Chaos Theory. Just summoning the Mega Minion just at the end when everything has been taken away from you down to 300. It's going to be very, very easy pickings for Bren Esports to move on through here. But I think we're going to be going on to interviews soon. Whether it'll be partially translated or fully translated, not translated at all. It's all beyond us at this moment. You know, we've had a lot of...
We have no control, guys.
I know, but I think we're going to get ready to get into the interview with Bren Esports once again to see how they feel about their victory.
再来访问今天目前为止都没有败绩的 Bren Esports。对，恭喜他们3胜0败的战绩坐收。
Congratulations on winning all 3 matches here in Taiwan.
对，
Thank you very much because we are glad that we won all 3 matches here in Southeast Asia.
我会持续努力这样子。
现在你们已经是东南亚分区目前战绩最好，可以说是东南亚分区目前最强的战队。那你们接下来要面对的是日韩的战队，有没有特别对哪一支战队特别提防的？
Sure, now you guys are the best among the Southeast Asian region, so you'll be facing Japanese and Korean teams now. Are there any special teams that you have focused on and have watched them for a while?
I think we're not the strongest, but we are the most prepared team because of the camaraderie that was built in the Philippines. And we're now looking forward for the Japanese teams because we all think that they are the strongest and most well prepared too.
我觉得我们是之所以在东南亚可以胜出，是因为我们准备得很好。那我们在菲律宾也做了很多的准备。那我们现在比较期待对到日本的对手，所以我们觉得他们是目前应该算是这个亚洲赛区实力最强也准备最多的。对。
那我们觉得说Bren Esports 的 Jaii 跟 Manny Knoxville 是非常非常强，可以说是目前最好的2v2的组合。那你们在对于2v2的练习上面来说，是花了什么样的心思去做调整，才可以达到这么好的效果？
So Jaii and Dexterz+, you guys probably the best 2v2 partners now in this region. So what kind of strategy or what kind of preparation you have done for this, especially for 2v2?
The best thing that we did was the coordination and communication because 2v2 needs team play.
对，所以呢就是协调跟沟通，这都是 2v2 很重要。那我们在这方面就是努力的最多，这样。
好，那我们就再次恭喜 Bren Esports 拿下这场比赛的胜利。我们接下来看一下目前为止的一个战绩的一个状况。
What a great interview coming from those guys. I just love those interviews. They're so pure in spirit. They know what it is to be a winning team. I was so impressed by the way that Noam Sai said, it's not about being the best, it's about being the well-prepared, the best prepared. There is a huge line of difference between that. It's not about your innate skills and not about, how good you are compared to others, but how well prepared you are was something.
I think it was Jaii who said it.
It was Noam Sai. It was
really?
Noam Sai, yeah.
Okay,
Jaii was a tall guy with that short hair on the top, but the blonde guy was Noam Sai.
Okay, with the yellow, yes. Yeah. What a great spirit! I felt exactly.
Amazing.
At that moment we both look at.
We
both stare at our eyes, thinking, "This guy's the man."
This guy.
Just be well prepared and have everything done, and have the teamwork coordination together. I think that pretty much covered everything. Of course, you need skills, lots of practice time. But to think of it, to sum it down to the level, he had it right there.
You don't need long words to describe greatness, and short and concise are the interviews always coming in. You're going to see the results coming in. Chaos Theory winning out against AHQ. Kicks winning out against AHQ, so AHQ definitely losers of the day. Unfortunately, could not get a single win on the board, but Chaos Theory, after coming off of a win, thought they would have a chance against a very strong Bren Esports, but not prepared enough. That's the conclusion we come to today, as Noam Sai tells us that preparation is the way you win Clash Royale, and here they stand. The preparation did them justice as we see them top of the standing, 3-0 undefeated.
Yeah, as they said also in the interview, they're really looking against the Japanese team because they seem the most prepared.
Yeah.
As they are the most prepared team from Southeast Asian region. Not really talking about the Korean teams at all, but looking at that, Japan came with right below them with 2 wins. Of course, after this weekend, they may just have 3-0 as well. We have a lot more teams playing. After all, Kingzone, of course, OPGG, still a lot of games to go.
I would have to agree with Noam Sai there on that occasion about who the best region currently is at the moment. Because I do still think the Japan region very much a thoroughly prepared team and thoroughly equipped team, knowing how to overcome many, many different obstacles. I saw that a little more than I did some for the Korean teams that I did see from the vault over there, but really talking about what this Japanese region means to the Clash Royale world. We're gonna find out slowly and slowly as soon as we start seeing these top teams clash across regions.
Yeah, because the HQ dropped all their matches, they will fall behind Sandbox actually, who has been at the bottom, the beginning of the broadcast. But because of with the updated result, we're going to have something else. And next matchup tomorrow, and only actually 13 hours from now on, we'll have that live right for you, the Korean regionals.
And have the players play right here in Korea at the OGN Stadium to bring you the action. We'll be joined in by G-Clef and Simon. I'll be back on Sunday to give you guys the action back on Japan, but Korea is the day for tomorrow, and you'll see these teams finishing out the day to see what they will be able to do going on. And it's going to be important to see how Korea stands up compared to the competition we've seen already from Southeast Asia over to Japan as well.
Yeah, we did have the Korean names up for the second, but it is actually the Japanese team for Sunday. That's going to be updated very soon, I believe. So with that up, I think that sums up everything. But a great set of matches we had here from Southeast Asian region. I really enjoyed a lot more compared to the very first day we had in week 1, day 1. We are through a weekend. I think they did a lot of preparations against each team. Just know what kind of card they like to play. We saw different bands, which means they have been working on something else. I'm liking these changes coming up. It's only the second week. We only saw 2 days. But what else do they have for the later weekends? That's something else that I will be very excited about, though.
Definitely after the first week, now coming into the second week, we're kind of getting the clear picture of who the good teams are, who the best prepared teams as well. So, best prepared team right now is Bren Esports for Southeast Asia. We're going to see who the best prepared team for Korea is tomorrow as you join us at 12 p.m. Korean Standard Time for Simon and G-Clef to show you guys the action from Korea. Until then, we will join you there.